On today's show, we drop in on a conversation between local veterans and students, pop up at a farmer's market, hear original poetry, and talk about upcoming things to do in our area. I'm Elizabeth. Let's get started. On May 24th, local veterans from VFW Post 1822 sat down with 6th grade students from Plymouth South Middle School to share their experiences and thoughts on the meaning of military service. We went on the local scene to Plymouth Memorial Hall.
We're here today to have a school group from the town of Plymouth come visit Memorial Hall. They're grade 6 and they have been learning about veterans, and in getting ready for Memorial Day, they're going to come down and learn about Memorial Hall and what our town's kind of all about.
Plymouth South Middle School teaches a literacy unit on social issues, and my colleagues and I had the idea of how wonderful it would be if the students learned that they are members of a larger community outside of themselves. So we decided we should each pick a place that was a little bit near and dear to our hearts and have the students go out into the community and learn not only about the organization, but how they could help. The students are captivated by things that happen around them that there's a little meaning put behind. So I decided I had a good group for it this year, and I contacted Dennis Russell, the head of the VFW in Plymouth. He was so honored, which just filled me up, that he was so happy that someone was paying attention to veterans in our town. Very eager to talk about his service, very eager to talk with me. So we launched this whole idea together.
So we've got a nice mix of veterans who are happy to sit down and speak to these students. They've got some prepared questions. I'm sure they'll have some other questions, but we're happy to have this opportunity. And I think it's very important that they actually have a chance to speak to a veteran and find out, what did they experience, and what's it like?
I believe part of a social studies teacher's job is to educate students on just history in general and the world they live in. So we live in the United States of America. We live in Plymouth, which has so much rich history. I teach a lesson on Memorial Day every year, and this just ties in perfectly. And as part of Memorial Day, remembering veterans who have passed away, I wanted the students to realize we can also acknowledge and remember veterans outside of Veterans Day who are still alive and who have stories to share that deserve to be heard.
I learned that most people who are in the military make sacrifices that almost every kid doesn't know until they go to something like this and they learn about it. Like, they sacrifice their lives on a daily basis to help get us freedom.
It was pretty cool. It's not like reading a book, like you're actually with the person, that's telling the story that they experienced.
I'm watching in there today, and I just love what's going on and seeing their faces and hearing how excited they are to learn about people who weren't that much older than them and went off to war.
I learned a lot about the conditions in the wars they fought in, like how people felt while they were in Vietnam, and just in general their experiences and everything that's happened to them.
This means to me how important it is for the veterans for us to learn about this stuff, because I feel like people think of middle schoolers like they don't really want to learn about the community, and this is important to the veterans because they want to show us what freedom means.
As far as students go, I think at an early age that there's many freedoms and opportunities that we have in this country, and those don't come without a price tag. And I think it's important that children know, and the younger generation understands that those who have gone before them have fought and made sure that they preserved their freedoms and their ability to do and be whatever they want to be. And I think the realization of that is very, very important, to know that I have this opportunity, and I am grateful for those who have allowed me to have these opportunities and these basic freedoms that you won't find in every country. That's why it's important.
My dad joined the Marines before I was born, and his cousin Craig is in Oregon right now in the Army. Saw him before COVID hit. He came back in 2020. It's hard not seeing your family for a little bit, but it's nice when he comes back.
Most of my family was in the armed forces, so my parents were all in the Navy, and I once did a project on all the family members I had in the military, and there were a lot of them. So this tells me a lot more about the sacrifices that my family members have made and all the things they do to help give all the people in the U.S. freedom.
What does your service mean to you?
Wow. I guess it means that I stood up for my country during a very turbulent time in American history. World War II, people couldn't wait to enlist. They were all excited. Vietnam War, people were leaving our country, they were going to Canada, and you as a person had to make the decision, were you on this team or that team? And I decided to enlist in the Navy and do something bigger than myself.
And it's a matter of pride. It's something that I'm happy I had the opportunity to serve the country. I come from a family that was involved in the military. My dad was Omaha Beach and Normandy. And I felt an obligation to say thank you for the freedoms that I enjoy and that we all enjoy, and I want to be a part of making sure it's preserved.
Well, first of all, you're fighting for your country, and you're fighting for other countries for freedom. Other countries, other parts of the world, they don't have the opportunities that we have here in the United States. And I'm hoping that by doing my military service, it's helped other countries and not just ourselves for the freedom that we enjoy today. And there was a lot of camaraderie while I was in the service. I still attend reunions, and I keep in touch with probably half a dozen men that I served. So my service to me means a lot to me. It means I was willing to put myself on the line for my country. And as today we had the opportunity to share our experiences and tell younger generations what we went through and what we did.
Well, I'm glad that I served. My grandfather served in the Army. My father served in the Navy, and I'm glad that I did my part in the Army. So nobody else had to go in my place.
My service means to defend the country. My father served in World War II. My brother served, he was in Vietnam. I felt it's an obligation to our country to serve and to protect it. And based on what John F. Kennedy said in his inauguration speech, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And that's why I wanted to do that, was to protect and to defend our country.
The process of songwriting combines chord progression, melody, and lyrics to evoke emotion and communicate story. If you are a fledgling songwriter that would love a little guidance, don't miss Songwriting 101 with Melodious Zach at the Adams Center in Kingston on July 19th. In this 1-hour program beginning at 6 p.m., you'll learn about the songwriting process, including how to register with ASCAP, the American Society of Composer, Authors, and Publishers. Melodious Zach knows what he's teaching. He's had over 100 songs registered with ASCAP and released 89 recordings. In 2015, he was the recipient of the ASCAP Plus Award for Songwriters and Independent Recording Artists. Register via the Kingston Public Library website. Finding your narrative voice is one of the most challenging elements to writing, whether your form is poetry, prose, or fiction. On July 26th at 6 p.m., the Pembroke Public Library is hosting Find Your Voice Through Words, a writing workshop led by poet and retired English department head Roz Kubek. This interactive and stress-free program will take place in the library's meeting room and welcomes all writing levels. Visit the library's website to register. A popular Thursday afternoon destination, the Plymouth Farmers Market's new location at West Plymouth Square welcomed the Local Scene Street team, who popped up to talk to vendors and market goers about what keeps people coming back year after year.
Hi, I'm Tiff Phillips with my co-host Mark McKinley and our production team. And we're at the Plymouth Farmers Market, new location at West Village Shopping Center, right outside G-Pub. It's going to be a great day to see some new and old friends, and of course, it's going to be a great day to shop local. Let's see what these folks have to say. I'm with our old friend Dave Purpura. Dave, new Farmers Market location, new you. What's going on?
Yeah, we're at a new spot this year, here in front of the G-Pub in Plymouth. There was a bunch of consideration going into making such a huge decision, but it's a very accessible spot for people. The parking's much improved. We can handle the traffic much better. And as far as being, able to actually negotiate the spot, it's just a lot easier for people to get around.
So have you seen a lot of the same customers coming back?
We've seen, mostly all familiar faces, but also a bunch of new people that I don't know. So hopefully they'll become, regular customers. Our association with the G-Pub has been great. These people are really on fire about the market, and then they want to participate in the market. And we've got surprises hopefully to develop as the summer goes on here in terms of supplying food and having a beer garden and cider garden and an outdoor dining and outdoor seating. And so far they've been really great to work with.
Very fortunate to have the Plymouth Farmers Market here, headed by Dave, right on our property. And this is the first week we're setting up our beer garden. So very fortunate enough to be able to serve some of our products. We have Second Wind Brewing, which is another Plymouth company, being poured as well. So it's kind of a cool community project right now.
And with High Limb, notice that it's modern cider. This is not your, regular apple juice jacked up on something. What's you've got a wide variety of different ciders as well as your dry ciders as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So OG, that's right here, that's the first one I ever made in my parents' basement. It just won silver medal nationally. It's all across the state in Rhode Island. It's our baby, but we branch out in big ways. We have Cape Days, which is a sea salt lemonade cider made with Cape Cod sea salt. We do ones fermented on oyster shells, and we do pie ciders, and we do a lot of fun different stuff that it kind of pushes the boundary of traditional cider making.
And how do you like this this new facility for you, working with Plymouth G-Pub and also having the High Limb distillery here?
The facility's awesome. It's really cool. We have a lot of space. Like I said, going from my parents' basement to an old, beat up factory to this is a dream come true. And it really is just a factory of creativity, and we make alcohol for a living. So, you can't complain about much. It's pretty good.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I'm here with Sarah from Skinny Dip Farm, all the way from Westport and Little Compton as well. Tell me all about Skinny Dip Farm.
We're a small organic vegetable farm based mostly out of Little Compton, but we do have a field in Westport as well. I'm the assistant manager. We grow fruit, vegetables, lots of seedlings and plants for people to buy.
Now, how do you enjoy being at this brand new location for the Plymouth Farmers Market?
It's great. I definitely like it. It's big. It's accessible for people to walk around with strollers and walkers and things like that. So I think that's awesome.
And a little bird told me that you went on an interesting hike from somewhere in Key West to where?
Yeah, before I started working here, I hiked from Key West to Maine in 2021. It's about 9 months and 4,000 miles.
Did your feet hurt? Did you have to change your shoes often? I mean, we want to know the nitty-gritty details of this hike.
I went through 8 pairs of shoes. About every 500 miles, I'd have to buy a new pair of shoes. And my feet did hurt, yes, and my back hurt, and I was tired all the time, but it was a lot of fun. I love spending time outside, hence the working on a farm thing, but it was an adventure of a lifetime.
I'm with Josh from De Silva Farms. Can you talk to me a little bit about your business?
So we're a pasture-raised poultry farm. So our animals live out on pasture. We rotate them through the pastures. We don't use any chemicals or pesticides. The animals are never given any antibiotics or medications at all. We have meat birds that we move, egg layers, and turkeys for Thanksgiving. And we start them as day old. Then as they hit about 3-4 weeks old, then we put them out on the pasture because the first few weeks they need to be under the heat until their feathers are fully formed. And then we put them outside and we rotate them until about 8-9 weeks old. And then that's when they're ready for harvest.
So are there any health benefits to having that process versus what you would buy at a supermarket?
Yeah, absolutely. They live outdoors, so they get plenty of sunshine, fresh air. They eat the grass, the bugs. So it's their natural environment. So it's the healthiest meat that you can get, and they're the healthiest for it as well. It benefits them and it benefits us too.
Dorian, you've been coming to this farmer's market since 2010?
2010, when it was in Stevens Field.
Oh, wow.
Long time.
What keeps you coming back?
I love the farmers. I love what they sell. I love the plants. I love the vegetables and the sustainably and responsibly raised meats and eggs and fish. I mean, pretty much most of what they sell here.
And what do you think the importance is of shopping local?
Oh, I think it's really important, both environmentally and sustainably, and just supporting local businesses.
And why do you think it's really important to shop local and support local businesses?
For us to do what we do, obviously our prices are a lot higher than the grocery store due to just the way that the system is, with the feed, the processing, all the added expenses. So by our customers supporting us, the money stays in our local economy, and it helps to keep the healthy food for our local customers, because the big industry, they're not providing healthy options. So you're just buying it in the grocery store, and the money that you spend in the grocery store does not go back to your local economy. So it's good supporting the local businesses, because there's not many of us left, and we have to keep it going. So hopefully in the future it gains popularity and we can continue this, through the years to come.
Why do you think it's important for people to shop local, like with your soaps?
There's all these cottage industries. People used to make soap all the time. It's more fine-tuned. It's a little bit better the way we make it now. But these cottage industries could support a neighborhood. And I think you see that a lot at the farmers markets. And it's just supporting something that's local and that's either homegrown or made here makes all the difference. And it's a booming little local economy. Plus the products are better. Your vegetables are better, I think, when they're bought locally. They're not strewn from across the country. I feel like our products are better than what you get at the store. They don't have all the chemicals in it. So I think that's really important. It's 100% natural. We make it from scratch the old-fashioned way. We're a family business. I do this with my daughter and my husband. And we make it like old-fashioned way, the way my mom and my aunt taught me years ago.
So it's generational. It's been in your family for a while.
It has. I picked it back up when my skin was giving me trouble, my kids' skin was giving them trouble. So we thought there had to be a better solution than going to the store and getting all the chemicals. And I worked with my daughter Lily. We formulated some soaps, and we feel like we have better skin because of it. And a lot of our customers do too.
And I'm sure people respect that a lot, that it's a family-owned business.
They do. They're very supportive. Yeah. And we really feel, we say our products are made for our family and yours. And that's the truth. You know, once we get a customer, they tend to stay with us. I have customers that have been with us from the very beginning, which was 9 years ago now.
It's not a visit to the Plymouth Farmers Market without paying a visit to the Queen Bee herself. Stephanie, please show us what's new and exciting for the Queen Bee.
Yes, well, one of the things that I started doing to help replace plastic wrap was these planet wraps. And they're made from cotton material. They're saturated with beeswax, jojoba oil, and a pine rosin, and they last a long time. And all you have to do is wash them with a little bit of liquid soap and cold water, rinse and let them dry, and wrap them back up.
That's awesome. And then also you were showing me the fancy new salt soap.
Yes, I have a salt soap. It's a beautiful pink. It's made with a Himalayan pink sea salt, and actually that's not a sea salt. It's a Himalayan salt with a pink clay. And so it's really it's moisturizing for your skin, and it smells wonderful.
Oh wow! Now, Stephanie, here we are. We're at this. I still like to think of it as a new location for the Plymouth Farmers Market. How have you enjoyed this new location?
I like it. I like it. It's definitely different for us, but we have the same great vendors that we've had for a long time, and we have some new people too. And there's everything that you need here for an amazing meal.
How do you like this new location here of the Plymouth Farmers Market?
So far, so good. I have no complaints. So far, so good. It's great.
Is this your first time here to this new location of the Plymouth Farmers Market?
So we're new to the Plymouth Farmers Market. We've been here, this is our second day of the market. We really enjoy it. Plymouth's a wonderful community. I have family that lives here, so it's a lot of fun to come up and meet people here and see some of the people I know through my family. And I just love it. The vendors, there's a lot of variety. It's a really wonderful market.
Are you new to the farmers market, or are you returning?
No, we've been here. We were at the other location, I think since 2016 we've been a part of the market. So,
what's the benefit of coming here, you think?
So it's good to connect with our local customers. We have a lot of loyal customers that buy from us. And it's just good coming out to see what people are looking for, so they can understand, who's raising their food, how it's being raised. I think that's just important to have that connection.
Shireen, give me a little example. Tell me all the wonderful things about Chatham Harvesters.
Well, Chatham Harvesters is a fisherman's owned seafood cooperative. And what our mission is we are reconnecting with seafood lovers, the community, what is locally and abundantly available in the Cape and South Shore waters. And so we take and we connect people. We tell stories about the fishermen that catch our catch, and we give recipes and whatnot. We're at farmers markets. We have a Fish Share membership program. You can go online at chathamharvesters.com and read a little more about that. But today we're at Plymouth Farmers Market, and we're offering some of our fresh and frozen products, which include clam pies, monkfish chowder base, shark bites, which is kind of an interesting take on dogfish.
Oh, give me a little bit more about the shark bite.
Okay, so dogfish is a very abundant fish species that a lot of people land and don't get a lot of money for it. So what we're trying to do is create a value-added product out of dogfish. Some people are very wary about it, but we handle the fish very well, and it's very tasty. It's a white meat, and what we're making out of the dogfish are fish cakes, and we call them shark bites.
I am with Billy Joel from New England Coastal Wildlife Alliance. Very excited to be here with you. So can you tell me a bit about your nonprofit?
Sure. We're an all-volunteer nonprofit, and we are a research and rescue of wildlife. We do co-ops, interns throughout the summer and the fall. Right now we're working on the diamondback terrapins. They're an endangered salt marsh species. What we do is we follow the turtles, and we make sure when they nest, we provide protection for their nests until they hatch. We go back at the end of the season, and then we release the babies into the marshes where the moms came from.
So what are you hoping to do here today, Eva?
We're just out here. I'm out every week usually trying to just promote what we're doing. We're out there in the waters. We're out there in people's backyards, looking for volunteers, looking for excitement about our wildlife, and make sure that we're doing what we need to do for our environment.
John, please tell me all about the wonderful things you're selling here today at the Plymouth Farmers Market.
Okay. Well, Rice on the Vine Oil and Vinegar Company. I have artisan olive oils that are made with ultra premium, extra virgin, first press, cold pressed olive oil. This is not supermarket olive oil. This is the good stuff. It's fused and infused with whole herbs and whole fruits, and there is nothing else in it. I've got white and dark balsamics that are just fermented fruit. There's no additives, thickeners, colorings, flavorings, or extra sugar to them. The white balsamics are aged 12 years. The dark balsamics are aged 18 years. There are some great combinations you can put together if you want to make a salad dressing or a marinade or do some bread dipping. They're great. And you're welcome to do shots.
You ready?
Yep. The balsamics, white.
Wow. That is something.
Isn't that good?
Holy cow.
Goes for the second, too.
The balsamics, white and dark balsamics are just fermented.
Money.
The other thing that I'm curious about too, balsamic on ice cream. Have you heard of that?
I have. A lot of people will do. I have one of them here that people use is the chocolate balsamic. They put that over the ice cream. The espresso balsamic also goes over ice cream. A lot of people will use, I only bring about 30 of the 79 flavors I have at my shop, but the fruit flavors like the darker, the strawberry or the blueberry, those are great over ice cream also. Yep.
Skip, you said you've been sharpening knives for 40 years?
Yeah, I'm a knife nut. I retired being a ship's captain, and I used to work knives on different ships and stuff as I was working. So it seemed like a natural thing when I got all done.
What kind of ships were you on?
Norwegian Cruise Lines, and I ran a boat called the Rotterdam.
Wow, that's incredible. So you've been on some adventures.
No, which is kind of nice. It's nice to see a lot of places, but adventures we like to get around.
Well, so how long have you been at the farmers market?
This is my first year.
Wow. Okay, so have you gotten a lot of business so far?
Just starting.
Just started today. Okay.
Yep. Well, no, I started last week, but you know.
Well, I mean, you have a lot of skill here. I'm very excited to see your work.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's been a great day here at the market. We want to thank the Plymouth Farmers Market for having us here today. Make sure to check out Facebook and Instagram for upcoming pop-up events, and make sure to check out what's happening on our YouTube channel for more on what's happening in our community. From all of us at the local Scene by PAC TV, we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Big Fish, the musical, tells the tale of Edward Bloom, a larger-than-life traveling salesman whose epic storytelling thrills all who listen, even when they veer toward the fantastical. when his journalist son Will determines to find the root of the exaggerations he's heard his whole life, he embarks on a journey of understanding that encompasses not only storytelling, but the big fish himself. Big-hearted and full of humor, don't miss Americana Theater's stage performance at the Spire Center in Plymouth. Running from July 13th to the 30th, Big Fish the Musical and its themes of fantasy, fun, and family will be a live theater experience that will stay with you. Visit americanatheater.org to get your tickets. There is some exciting news cruising into Plymouth Harbor. American Cruise Lines have added Plymouth as a new port of call to its late summer itinerary. The pilot program will consist of 3 small ship cruises to Plymouth on August 19th, August 26th, and September 2nd on the Cruise Line's Cape Codder itinerary. Stops also include ports in Boston, Gloucester, Martha's Vineyard, New Bedford, Provincetown, and Newport, Rhode Island. More stops in Plymouth are planned for 2024. For more information, visit cplymouth.com/news. Children of all ages are invited to the Duxbury Free Library on July 7th for a reading by local author-illustrator duo Paul Stephen Stone and Don Carter of their book, Cock-a-Doodle Don't. Following the reading, there will be a chance to meet Paul and Don, ask questions, and get your book personally signed by the illustrator and author. Visit the Duxbury Free Library website to register. 4th of July in Massachusetts this year means patriotism, parades, fireworks, and poetry. Plymouth Poet Laureate Stephen Delbos, along with the Plymouth Poetry Forum, are proudly hosting an online presentation of Massachusetts poets, consisting of pre-recorded readings that will stream on the Plymouth Poetry Forum Facebook page throughout the day on July 4th. If you are a Massachusetts poet interested in participating, please submit your up to 10-minute reading by midnight on July 3rd, along with a short bio. Poets are encouraged to use WeTransfer.com for emailing files. For questions, visit the Plymouth Poetry Forum website or email Stephen Delbos directly at plymouthpoetlaureate@gmail.com. Next up is poet Bill Alberti in a reading of his original work.
Our next poet is Bill Alberti. Bill Alberti's poems have appeared in several literary magazines and journals. He has 5 published chapbooks of poetry and for 9 years was the poet columnist for Gatehouse Media. His column, The Poet's Pen, appeared in 16 local weekly newspapers, including the Old Colony Memorial. He was a member of both Tide Pool Poets and Poetry, The Art of Words, including many visual inverse events. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Alberti.
Good evening. I'm honored to be here, to be able to read for you. The first poem is a little tribute to spring, which is just really right upon us right now. It's called Spring Shower. Early morning sky weeps tears, crippity-crock on leaves. From a favorite chair by my cracked open window, I sip first coffee, watching, listening. Swish, swoosh. A commuter motors through black lakes, spewing silver, wet tinsel streamers. Downspouts rattle with rain, tick-tapping a metronomic melody. Moss moistens. Dry grass whispers gratitude. Tree branches bow in thanksgiving. I hear growing, the greening of the neighborhood. I smell the earth's refreshment, the quenching of its parched pores. And like the oxygenated air sweeping in and over me, I sigh with delight, and my heart smiles large. We all have backs, and I'm sure we know someone or ourselves who have suffered some back pain. So I was trying to write a blues poem, and I decided to dedicate it to my back. It's called The Bad Back Blues. Yesterday I did too much. Today my back's in real pain. Yesterday I bent so low. Now I got to use a cane. I had to see a chiropractor. Pretzeled me, gave me a pill. I went to see this chiropractor. I left with one big hefty bill. Today is not a good day, 'cause I got the bad back blues. Today it ain't no good day. I did work I should have refused. Now my muscles all in spasm, running up and down my spine. Oh, my lower back's in spasm. I'm all twisted like a vine. So I won't lift one finger. Of that I am emphatic. 'Cause if I lifts one finger, it might become sciatic. I ain't going for no x-rays. Why take unneeded risk? I ain't posing for no x-rays. I know it's bulging disc. The pain, it sure is throbbing. Feels like I'm in a vice. My lower back's a throbbing. Think I'll go and get some ice and put it in a tall glass. Add bourbon whiskey to the mix. Then drink it down real fast. I'll be nursing my own fix. Thank you. One summer I was lucky enough to study at the University of Ireland in the Galway campus. And I got to explore that city, that lovely city. And when I came home, I put the images that kind of came to me in this litany poem. It's called Reflections on the Gift of Galway. Stones and stucco, stucco and stones, block upon block, bone upon bone, black iron grates, garden gates, hedgerow screens of evergreens, chieftain gray sky, warlike mountain, doomed cathedral, cascade fountain, scarves and sweaters and street musicians, statue still mimes, changed positions, street-lined shop stores, Spanish arches, white swan families swim the marshes. The Corrib River runs Celtic fast. Salmon fishers reel their casts. Restaurants and pubs and cobblestone street, doorway bridges where lovers meet. This and much more my heart has seen in Galway town, my Irish dream. And now you see, my poem is finished. Time for some crack and a pint of Guinness. And lastly, my first readings, as many of yours were, probably the nursery rhymes. And I would do those every night with my mother before I went to sleep. So I wrote this poem in honor of her. And if you're following it carefully, there are 10 fairy tales in here. You can count them as you hear. Titled, Once Upon a Time. I wished for a fairy godmother and a cricket conscience guide, 7 dwarfs to be my friends, and a Gretel by my side. I wanted to whistle while I worked and weave straw into gold, wear slippers made of glass, and never grow up or old. I wanted to ride inside a pumpkin, build a house of sturdy bricks, climb up a magic beanstalk, and be wise to witches' tricks. I wanted to sleep in a bed just right, have a long nose made of wood, sprinkle a path of breadcrumbs, and wear a Red Riding Hood. I learned lessons from the fairy tales. Never lie, always obey. Do not talk to strangers and heed what parents say. I mostly was a good boy, didn't cry or complain, walked the straight and narrow, not easy to sustain. I miss Mom reading the storybooks, the good times and the laughter, her magic and her love remembered, lives happily ever after. Thank you.
Habla español? Si no, you are in luck. Spanish Classes 101 are returning to the Pembroke Council on Aging. Whether you're starting from square one or looking to brush up on your conversational Spanish, this class will be fun and educational. Classes run on Mondays from July 10th through August 14th. To sign up, call the COA at 781-294-8220. The Duxbury Free Library is hitting the road and invites you and the kids to join them for a sweet treat. On July 19th, beat the heat at Farfar's Ice Cream in Duxbury for a library-presented story time at 11:30 a.m. The story theme is ice cream, and no registration is required. Visit the library's website for more information. Let freedom ring on July 5th by heading to the Adams Center in Kingston for the patriotic musical event America the Beautiful in Song. Accomplished trumpet player David Polanski will lead a musical tribute to the land of the free while telling stories about the inspiration behind some of America's most star-spangled songs. The event runs from 6 to 7 p.m. Register via the Kingston Public Library website. The historic Hedge House Lawn is home to the brand new Plymouth Waterfront Arts Market. On July 22nd from 11 a.m. to 5 o'clock, enjoy a summer day on the waterfront as you explore the diverse local arts and food scene. There will be over 50 local vendors, artists, makers, and craftspeople. Visit allevents.in and search Plymouth Waterfront Arts Market to learn more. The Duxbury Senior Center aims to enrich the lives of seniors throughout the town of Duxbury. Here's more.
Hi, my name's Joanne Moore, and I have the honor and privilege of being the director at the Duxbury Senior Center. The mission of the center is to empower older adults to age well, engage in the community, and enrich their lives. The Duxbury Senior Center offers a wide array of programs and services that supports that mission. We offer educational, recreational programs that foster learning and promote social engagement. We have a lifelong learning program, fitness classes, and nutrition. Our meals are made fresh every day on site. We have a cafe and we deliver meals to our community. We also have a social day program for people living with Alzheimer's disease. We have transportation to keep people independent. And we're so thankful to our Friends organization because they make these rides free of charge. We have information and referral to enable older adults to connect to services so they can remain safely in their home. And we have a wide array of volunteer opportunities. We are located at 10 Mayflower Street in Duxbury. Our number is 781-934-5774. To learn more about what we offer, go to our website, duxburyseniorcenter.org. We hope to see you soon.
Combining storytelling, music, impressions, sign language, and mime, performance artist Jackson Gilman is a stand-up chameleon. From 2 to 3 p.m. on July 8th, Jackson and the Plymouth Public Library invite you to A Family Cabaret, a whimsical, zany, and inspirational cabaret-style show. Serving comic review, participatory song, movement, and story, this laugh-out-loud performance will also include observational humor and a fun look at rituals from all perspectives. This wonderful program is supported in part by a grant from the Plymouth Cultural Council, a local council supported by the Mass Cultural Council. All ages are welcome and no registration is required. The 4th of July is almost here and Plymouth is ready to celebrate. This Independence Day, tune in right here on PAC TV to enjoy the floats, festivities, and fun of the Plymouth 4th of July Parade, starting at 9 a.m. live. And at 7:30 p.m., the PAC TV crew will bring you the beloved Plymouth Philharmonic Orchestra concert live from the waterfront. There, Stephen Kirdianis and the orchestra will bring you a beautiful program, including special guest Marianne Leone as she reads the Declaration of Independence, accompanied by Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Don't miss it on Comcast Channel 13 or Verizon Channel 43. And if you can't be there in person, no worries. Both events will also be streamed live on pactv.org/live. July 4 Plymouth is once again planning a spectacular event, and here's how you can help make it happen.
The nonprofit July 4 Plymouth Inc. was formed 38 years ago when the town of Plymouth could no longer afford to fund the annual Independence Day celebration. Each year, our group of volunteers has solicited support from local businesses and you, the residents of Plymouth, to fund and cover the expenses associated with the parade and fireworks. This year, July 4 Plymouth's goal is to raise $120,000 for our celebration. Your support will ensure we can meet that goal and continue to come together to celebrate our freedom, show our community spirit, and share our values as America's hometown. If we meet our goal, the money will fully fund the cost of the parade, fireworks, entertainment, while also covering the cost of police, fire, and public works personnel that work to ensure a fun and safe family event. Please donate online at www.july4plymouth.com or by mail to July 4 Plymouth, P.O. Box 1776, Plymouth, Mass. 02362. Thank you, Plymouth, for your continued generosity and support. Happy 4th of July.
And that's what's good and good to know on the local scene this week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. We are grateful for your attention. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe to the local scene here and share everywhere. Thank you, friends.